Hey kiddies, it's terrible triple feature time once again. This week we're going to look at white people going into space and solving everybody's problems. Our menu includes Avatar, John Carter of Mars, and Flash Gordon. Savior of the universe! Now, driving home from my parents' house from a very lovely Thanksgiving holiday, and I thought you guys could keep me company for a little bit. Now, in each of these films, we have a white dude who's transported to another planet upon which there are, unresolved conflicts lasting hundreds of years, bloodshed and horribleness. Then our white guy comes to the planet, basically says, hey, have you ever tried doing it this way? And wha-bam! The whole planet becomes a much better place. All thanks to the power of white people going to a land that wasn't their own and inflicting their own personal values. Yeah, colonialism. It's, only slightly racist because, sometimes they have white aliens, but it's definitely condescending and or insulting. Jim Cameron's Avatar, which is a very thinly veiled pro-environmentalism, anti-capitalism movie, featuring Sam Worthington, which I gotta tell you people, really getting frustrated with you guys, still trying to make him a thing, because he's awful. But he plays Jake Sully, a former Marine, who is now, unfortunately, a paraplegic, but he gets the second chance at legs by piloting the titular Avatar, a genetically grown creature that he can remote pilot using his brain. Ostensibly, he is there to make the corporation. I'm not sure if they ever actually named the corporation. Make it easier for them to move the Na'vi, a la the Native Americans, away from their homeland so that we can get their rich natural resources. In this case, the completely uncreatively named unobtainium, which does, something. It's never explained what this thing does. After, say, a month of Jake Sully living amongst the Na'vi, he's Na'viing better than the Na'vi do. So he is able to fly the big monster pterodactyl instead of just the wimpy normal pterodactyls, and unite all of the different Na'vi tribes into one coherent army to fight the regular or the human corporation-y army and triumph, a la the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, but, a little more Smurfy since the Na'vi are blue. It's really great in the theater, but it wears a little thin and a little, sledgehammery, insulting your intelligence upon rewatching. Next up, we have John Carter of Mars, which, while they're not insulting your intelligence, they are probably assuming you're getting what they're putting down a bit more than you actually are. It's a fairly, I'm not going to say confusing plot, but it's definitely convoluted. John, who just wants to, find gold and forget about his dead wife and kid. But unfortunately, he's dragged into conflict, and through a series of bizarre circumstances, ends up on Mars. But not really. It's really a duplicate body of his is created on Mars, and he's piloting that remotely, not unlike Jake Sully in Avatar. Now, instead of being some goofy crossbreed, John Carter gets the superpowers by being human. Humans have denser bone structure than the native Martians, and because the gravity is lighter, we're much, much stronger, able to leap tall bounds, and, do other sorts of physical feats of strength. Now, he immediately gets glums onto the Tharks, the Green Martians, who have 6 arms and basically look awesome. It's led by Willem Dafoe. And this is a smart move, because I'm not going to lie and say that Willem Dafoe plays the most endearing characters, but he often plays the craziest. So in this sort of circumstance, you're going to want to go with Willem Dafoe crazy, because even if he doesn't win, he's going to crazy it up enough that he will fuck everybody else until they die. However, on the other side of things, you got, I believe her name is Lynn Collins playing Deja Thoris, the scantily clad Princess of Mars. John Carter gets, basically mixed up with both sides and decides, no, I'm going to bring everybody together and finish up their wars by jumping very hard, jumping very high, and beating people up very hard. Those people being Dominic West and Mark Strong's collaboration of evil. Hey, it's worth noting that both of these movies have similar gags in it with language, learning the language, and the native people giving our main character not necessarily sometimes a silly name, sometimes just a endearing mispronunciation. Like in Avatar, we have Jake Sully. And in John Carter of Mars, John Carter is explaining to Tars Tarkas that he is from Virginia, and thus all of the Tharks call him Virginia. Now these are all, pale in comparison to the 1980s epic, the Queen-infused Flash Gordon, savior of the universe, played by Sam Jones, adapted from the old comic strips and movie serials. Flash Gordon, Dale Arden, and Dr. Zarkov are brought into the court of Ming the Merciless to plead for the lives and safety of the planet Earth. Whereas Jake Sully had, avatar powers and the blessings of all the little forest fairies, and John Carter had enhanced strength and leaping ability. Flash Gordon's superpowers that he is the quarterback of the New York Jets. That and unbridled charisma. That guy can charm the pants off anybody. And often does. There's a lot of, nudity in this film. But it's really far out. It's really fun. I mean, it's the Flash Gordon movie. You gotta know it by now. And while definitely the campiest and the silliest, it's probably the least insulting because all of the alien races, seemingly, are made up of European white people, with the exception of the lizard people and, say, the group that dies in the beginning, led by, I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Morty in Layer Cake and Captain Kananga in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's pretty goddamn awesome. Other than that, it's all English people like Brian Blessed with wings and Timothy Dalton getting his Robin Hood on, and Richard O'Brien is running around there. And they all have, and only Flash Gordon can unite these other tribes, these different planets together to finally take down Ming the Merciless, played by the always wonderful Max von Sydow. Thank God for white people and their misadventures in space. So, eat some leftover turkey and watch Avatar, John Carter of Mars, and Flash Gordon. And I'll see you guys next week, provided I get home by then. As you can see, I'm traveling down 295 in beautiful southern Jersey. Not the Turnpike. Turnpike is only for chumps. See you next week!